How old a movie is that? 10?
2007?
Okay.
6 maybe?
So 13, 14 years.
Hello! Welcome back
We're in
to Basement Movie Room. He's not prepared.
Nope.
So,
Or am I?
we have also watched Eastern Promises, which is the David Cronenberg directed Viggo Mortensen starring film from, I don't know, 2007, 2006, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, Eastern Promises is kind of like Mortensen's, I think History of Violence was first with David Cronenberg, and then he did Eastern Promises with Cronenberg, which is, Cronenberg's like a very particular director. He's done a very, his movies are also always very visceral and things like that. But History of Violence, very, very visceral, very violent.
Yeah.
And then this movie kind of follows suit with that. So Eastern Promises is set in London. And the opening of the movie, you're following a young girl, like 15, 16-year-old girl, through the streets of London. She goes into a pharmacy and she's in labor, but she's bleeding. She goes up to the pharmacist and asks for help. And they see she's bleeding. And they take her to the hospital where Naomi Watts is a midwife, and the girl dies, but the baby is born. And so Naomi Watts finds a diary on this girl, and she begins to investigate where this girl came from, trying to figure out where the family for this girl is to take care of the baby who's still in the hospital. This leads her to a restaurant where she meets Simeon, who is a elderly Russian gentleman. Naomi Watts is from a Russian family. Her father was Russian, so they call her Ivanova. Yeah, I can't remember her first name.
Work for the KGB.
Yeah, Ivanova, because her dad's name was Ivan. So she meets Simeon, not knowing that Simeon is actually a significant figure in the Russian mafia in London. During this time, she also meets Simeon's son, played by Vincent Cassel, who's French, not Russian, but he plays a Russian, and Viggo Mortensen's character. God, what was his name in the movie? I don't remember his name. Kirill was Vincent Cassel. Kirill was Vincent Cassel, and we also have
Viggo's name was really close to that.
Mortensen's character, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But he's a driver. He doesn't have much. He's a friend of Kirill, who is the son of Simeon, the head of the mafia in this town. But
he uses the Seagal line a lot. He's just a driver.
Yes, just a driver.
Just
a chef.
Just a driver.
Yeah. So he's just a driver.
Yeah.
But he recognizes Naomi Watts, an attractive female. So Kirill's interested in her, and Viggo Mortensen, I think, shows some interest in her as well. Simeon says he will help her translate this diary she found on the girl, and offers to keep it, but she only brought copies. And he begins, she starts a relationship with Simeon. Well, ultimately it ends up Simeon's actually the head of the Russian mob. She doesn't know this. Kirill is his fuck up son, basically, that he's not too fond of, and then Mortensen's trying to make his way up in the mafia, basically. But Mortensen also seems to be kind of like a kind soul to an extent. He helps out Naomi Watts' character. He does a lot of things in the movie that seem out of character for his particular character. But he does ultimately become part of the mob as opposed to a driver throughout the movie. But nonetheless, I don't want to really go into this movie's plot too extensively because it would be spoilers. But just suffice to say that Simeon is bad guy, and Naomi Watts has got herself in over her head. Her uncle, who is also Russian.
Such a good bad guy, too.
Yeah.
He's like...
Simeon's played by Armin Mueller-Stahl, who's a very famous German actor.
Yeah.
Fantastic actor.
He looks like a really nice person.
Yeah.
Nice
looks like my grandpa, to be honest.
He's got like really kind eyes, and but when he
he turns it on and off.
He can really turn cynical.
Oh yeah,
with his look.
Yeah, turns it on and off.
And it's subtle too, and it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
this
on
guy.
and off.
Yeah. He's not to be messed with.
Yeah, and Vincent Cassel plays plays his role well as as Carol, Simeon's son, who's a complete screw up.
One of the deepest French accents you'll ever hear.
And
he does a great job of covering up.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where I'm like, there's the French coming out.
You'll catch it. You'll catch it.
And if you know, it's great.
Yeah. And if you know Vince Cassell, he's been in a lot of French films like La Haine, which we need to watch La Haine. I have that on Blu-ray.
Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Brotherhood of the Wolf. Some terrific movies.
Yeah.
He's a terrific actor. Crimson River, excuse me. Also a very good movie with him and Jean Reno. But yeah. So basically you're just dealing with like some Russian mob issues. Naomi Watts' uncle in the movie is Russian, and he's like, no, you don't want to mess with these people in this diary. You just need to throw this diary. But essentially the diary is basically saying that the girl was 14. She was raped by Simeon, and Naomi Watts doesn't even realize that she's gotten herself in with people who are in this diary.
Yeah.
Carol's in it a lot.
Yeah.
And then you get Viggo Mortensen, who's kind of like, look, you can't tell where his character sits in this, but you get the feeling that he doesn't want anybody to get hurt. Yeah. He seems like he's kind-hearted, but he wants to be...
And he wants to do his job.
Yeah, he wants to do his job, but he's kind of kind-hearted.
Yeah, he has some morals.
Yeah, he's a moral gangster. He's the good man gangster.
Yes.
So that's really all we're going to go into in the plot, because the rest of it kind of just follows on to that point where Naomi Watts has got herself in trouble, and Viggo Mortensen is trying to help her get out of it, basically.
In a way.
Yeah. In a way. Yeah. So I don't want to go into more to plot. I will say that Viggo Mortensen's fantastic in it. There's a particular scene in a bathhouse with,
so brutal.
Yeah, Mortensen going up against two guys. Mortensen is completely nude in this scene. You get some of the little Mortensen in this scene.
Little Mortensen.
Plenty of the little Mortensen in this scene. So, but yeah, I mean, a brutal scene. The movie pulls no punches.
When I watched it, I actually thought he was going to be killed.
Yeah, he's on the edge.
It was brutal, and I was like, well, the way this movie's going, he's not really a main character.
Yeah.
He could be off in this.
Anybody in this movie could die.
And I'm not going to spoil anything, but...
Yeah, I mean, the fight is brutal. It's
so good.
It's not like, these,
no great movies.
Films where they're blocking punches and just, Seagal throwing people around. It's a brutal fight.
It's a fight for
knock down, drag out type thing.
These guys are trying to survive, and the two guys that attack him or end up trying to, survive themselves as well, because they're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, this guy's nothing they've ever dealt with before. Yeah. Nothing they've ever dealt with before.
This guy's a tough dude.
And of course, vodka is featured pretty heavily in the film. Yes. But yeah, I mean, it's a gangster film. It's not like Scorsese gangster film. It's definitely very different than that, because your main character is kind of outside of it, looking in to all these gangsters, and you're kind of you get a lot of this Russian traditional stuff, like those dinners that they have in the movie, singer. And the kids playing the violin, and Simeon being like, oh, you have to play the violin like this, and all that. So you get all this very Russian stuff. The opening of the movie. We didn't talk about the opening of the movie, where we're in with a guy who we have no clue who this is. The barbershop. Yeah. The barbershop. And I'm going to go into this scene because this movie starts brutal.
And that comes into
There's a Russian guy, or I guess ultimately we find out he's Chechnyan.
Yeah.
He's Chechnyan. He works for the Russian mafia in a barber's chair, getting his hair cut by this Middle Eastern. This guy's Middle Eastern, but he works with the Russian mafia. You figure out later. Getting his hair cut, and the guy's nephew comes in, and all of a sudden you get the vibe kind of drops to where it's very sinister, and you can tell the guy's nephew that he's talking to, the barber's nephew that he's talking to, is not all there. But I mean, you get a throat slashing that's one of the most brutal throat slashings you'll see on film. It
reminded me of Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, it is brutal. Yeah. I mean, it really sets the tone for the film that if you're in here to see a movie that's not going to have blood and brutality, don't watch this movie.
It's not over the top though.
Mm-mm.
It's it's a good amount of brutality.
Yeah, it's realistic.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
not
it is
like
what it would
it's
be.
not like just guts spilling out.
Yeah.
It's like it's pretty realistic.
And you also have that scene where Carol and Viggo Mortensen's character go into that in there to dispose of this guy's body, and Viggo's like processing the body, cutting the fingers off, and it's some scenes that are tough to watch at times. Yeah, it really is. If you have a weak stomach, this is maybe not the movie for you, but it's a good one. It's a good movie. Yeah. So score wise, I don't know who did the score on it. Was it Howard Shore? Yeah, top notch score.
Yeah, he hit. It was like very depressing at times. I mean, he hit all the notes perfectly.
Yeah, some of that Russian traditionalist music and
nothing
stuff.
Overpowering.
Yeah.
Is good.
I don't remember it much. So.
Yeah, nothing was overpowering that took away from the scene. Because sometimes scores can be too in your face, and it takes away this. Shore, he's pretty good with keeping it in the background and playing on those emotions. And he did well in this. Pretty subtle score, and I liked it though.
Yeah,
it was
great.
A little haunting at times.
It can be. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
for this type of movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, Eastern Promises is a top-notch movie. Probably one of the, in my opinion, one of the best of like the 2000s. In my opinion, it's one of my favorites of the 2000s.
Another one that slipped under the radar for me.
For you, you hadn't seen it. I had seen it before, and I was like, "Oh my God, you've never seen Eastern Promises?
What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. So we had to watch it, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to rating because I don't have much else to say about it. I'll go first because this is a 5 for me. This is a perfect movie for me. I've loved it ever since I've seen it. I can't get enough of this movie. I could probably I've only seen it a few times, but I could watch it. Infinitely, basically. It's a fantastic movie. It's a perfect movie. 5 stars for me.
Yeah, I was at like a 4.7.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I had a couple issues with some of the. Got a little slow there at times.
It does. Occasionally.
That's what keeps it from a perfect movie for me. Yeah. But it's pretty amazing either way. I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
These type of movies, I don't really go back and watch over and over.
Yeah.
I would go back.
It's not an easy movie to watch, to be honest. It's brutal. But Viggo, this is a role that's almost handwritten for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it actually was written for him because
if I had never seen Viggo in anything else, I would have thought he was a Russian actor.
Yeah, he's really good.
His accent was spot on.
Really good
for what for what I think is a Russian accent.
Yeah, he's really fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellente.
Well, that is Eastern Promises. Fantastic movie. Definitely watch it. Zdorovie! Thanks for watching.
Eastern Promises.